from a Western perspective, we have Moabites, okay, which are Moors, which for many is showing also the genealogy of the Moabites being the genealogy showing it through Jesus. When you look in, Matthew 1, through Matthew 1 through 17, you'll find the genealogy that Ruth is in the genealogy of Jesus. Now, if you look at the book of Ruth, or you look in the Ruth's genealogy, Ruth is a Moabite. Okay, so for biblical scholars, and for people to understand from a biblical perspective that Moors also are your Moabites. And the Moabites are also, the genealogy is through Jesus. So even the man known as Jesus or Yahshua has Moabite blood, has Moorish blood running through his veins. Okay, for those who have that understanding of Jesus. So, it's very important to see the ancient part, and you see them from ancient times all the way, their influence all the way up into we go up into 700 AD when you have the Moors conquering Spain. Okay, you got even further than that. You have if you look at some of the British coat of arms, if you look at different coat of arms in Europe, like Spain, Corsica, it's Corsica, Spain, England or Britain, they have on their flags Moors. They'll be blindfolded, but they'll be black, very, 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 like black, faces with a white bandana or whatnot tied around their eyes or around their neck or whatnot. But you'll find these pictures on the coat of arms in Britain, and you'll find them also in flags in Spain or in Italy, in that area. You'll find the flags, you see. So the Moorish influence was very strong, but because of internal problems, you'll find that there was a deterioration, and then you can start seeing the slave trade forming like in the 1500s, 1600s. The tide had turned for the influence of the Moors, but their influence was strong. They were seafarers. That was also the ability of showing you how, because they were seafarers, they were able to travel from Africa to the Americas without a problem. And you can also tell because they were also putting what we call tolls, or it's called the Barbary Act, but where they weren't allowing the Europeans to sell anywhere without paying. So, for them to have mastered the seas to the point where they had control over the flow of currency, the flow of trade, the flow of, all these things, So, yes, sir.
So based on what you have just said, if we can go back into history, the indigenous factor, or the indigenous people, were truly, in essence, the original forefathers.
Definitely.
Well, if I may, the original forefathers of this land, when we take a look at that, before there was the United States of America Republic, the United States of America, there was the United States Republic. And there were 7 presidents before George Washington.
Yes.
Right. He was over the Continental Congress.
He was over the Continental Congress and the Continental United States of America Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when the Moors gave the Europeans that were here the right to do commerce on this land. And that brings us to the treaty that was formed between Morocco and the United States, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. And what's important about that treaty is that under the Constitution it says that all treaties are the major law of the land. That treaty states that, Morocco was the first to recognize the United States, the continental United States Republic, as a nation. Mm-hmm. And this is why they had the treaty. Plus, there were Moors here. And there was a connection between Morocco and this land. So Morocco gave the United States permission to do what they did here in this land, and that treaty is ratified every 50 years. The last time it was ratified was in 1986. Now, what's important about that to those who came through the Middle Passage and don't have an indigenous lineage is in that treaty it states that all Moroccan subjects, citizens, are to be treated with the same respect and dignity as U.S. citizens.
Yes.
Well, all of West Africa was under the domination of the Empire of Morocco. Mm-hmm. So your slaves came from West Africa. Mm-hmm. So that ties them in as Moors because of that treaty. Mm-hmm. And this is how the slaves are covered in terms of being Moors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you'll see that also. You can see the relationship with the Moors and America with the dollar bill, the pyramid being the African one and the eagle.
Right. Well,
also too, one of the last of the seven before George Washington, his name was John Henson. He was the last one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, time has caught us. But anyway, go ahead, brother, real quickly.
Also, for the general public, they need to know that the Moroccan flag used to fly here. And that old saying that we learned in school, George Washington chopping down the cherry tree. Well, the cherry tree was the Moroccan flag.
Right.
When they began their domination of the Moors here in the North Americas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, all good things must come to an end. So we have to bring this program to an end. And I know, brothers, we can keep on going and going and going and going and going. But we will save some for our next show that we have on. But we thought that it was important.
Our classes.
We thought that it was important for the public to understand who Moors are, what Moors are, and why we are. Now, we meet the second and the fourth Mondays at the main library downtown here in Dayton at 6 o'clock. So anybody that can make it, please come.
Yes, you can email us at moorishnewkemit at hotmail.com.
Good. And with that, again, my name is Tulani Rufaro L, and we will see you next time.